Hi guys, we're about one here, and today doing a discussion video. About trading in the game. This game of Yu-Gi-Oh! We call Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know why I said that. Well, it's too late now. I've said it. But yeah, doing a discussion video about trading in the game, and I just really wanted to talk about this because I've been trading a lot. I trade up lots of different places. I sell cards, I trade cards, but there are times when you just get those annoying people who are just looking for profit, just trying to get all this extra crap because they want to make an extra pound or an extra penny or anything extra. And I wanted to do a video on this because I felt like if I did a video on this, it would kind of give some other people ideas on how to avoid this. Maybe just, give you a stance where you don't actually, you can actually say no to it, because you can always say no to a trade. You can always say no to a trade. There's nothing that says you have to say yes to a trade. Like, if you don't want to trade specific card number 1 for specific card number 2, you don't have to. Like, it's your decision. But today we're discussing about the nitpickers, the hagglers, the extras, and all that, I guess. Like, just discussing about trading in general. So let's get into this. So let's start with what trading is. So trading is basically, I want that card, you want this card, trade the 2 cards. Nothing simpler than that. But where Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going now, it's going to a point. Well, it's gotten to a point. Sorry. It's gotten to a point where if you want specific card number A, specific card A, and specific card B, you're going to have to look at the prices. Now, sure, there's a valid reason to do that. You don't want to loot that card could be worth some money, and if you want specific card, then sure. But when you get to the point where where the person is literally just trying to get overprice it or get exact value, that's when it gets annoying. Like if this person has a card you want, it's a pound more than the card that you have, and you want that card because it's a pound, not because it's a pound more, but because you want it. They say, oh, well, that's a pound more, so I'll just take this as well. And then that card is then more than a pound more, so you're gonna be like, oh, I want this. That's when it gets to the point where you're not trading anymore. You're more of trying to make profit. Like, you get what I mean? People, when it gets to that point, it's a point where you're not trying to just trade, you're trying to get more money out of them. And that's a point in Yu-Gi-Oh! Which I think is just the worst point you can actually get to in a trade. Because trading in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is meant to be fun. It's meant to be conversational. It's just meant to be something where you can talk to someone else while looking through their binders, seeing if they have anything you may want. Like, I could be, like, you've got a binder. Pretty much everyone in this game has a binder. Like, I'm pretty sure like 90% of you who watch my videos have a binder. Like, hell, if you don't have a binder, you have a tin. You have something with cards that you trade. I have like, let's say I was this man who wants to get a cheaper trade. So we'll say this is £5. The person card I want is £6, just like I said. And this guy says, "Oh, I'm gonna try. Oh, my card's a bit more expensive. I'm gonna try and take as well a Slasher Dragon." Now, I'm gonna be like, "No, I don't want to do that because of it's just a pound extra. Can't you let me off? Because of like, why are you just trying to get extra out of me? It's like I need this for a deck. Why can't you be safe?" Now, I understand if the guy wants to say no, he can say no. He doesn't have to trade to me. He doesn't have to trade it to me. But if he says yes, sure. But then when he starts trying to take extra stuff that is worth a lot more, that's where the point there gets, oh, I want this, I want that, you want that, this, and it's just going to go on never ending. And you're not really in a social interaction then. You're more in a cash struggle, which is something that I don't like about this game. Like, this game, the reason I wanted to talk about trades is because this game is getting into a point where money is everything. Now, I get it. These top-tier techs, such as Magicians, which are basically budget as hell, we're getting everything reprinted. Or what deck's expensive right now? I don't think there are any really expensive decks right now, actually. Maybe True Draco? No, the diagrams are cheap as well. But anyway, that's a different discussion. But when you get to the point of trading, where you're like, oh, I want this, you want this, I want this, and you're just trying to bump up the profit, that's where you get to a point that, no, I'm done with you, go away. And that's when that happens, you're just gonna both have a sour feeling in your mouth. So that's where I feel like trading has gone really bad, because trading is meant, as I said, trading is meant to be a social interaction. Like, when you get to a point where you start trading with someone continuously, you're going to get to know that person. You're going to get to know who they are. You're going to talk between each other. You're just going to have a lot of fun, maybe even add them into your testing group, just so you can play with them a bit more. In the Yu-Gi-Oh sense. Dirty-minded people. But when you get to that point is where you can actually start having fun with them. You can maybe get some mate rates with them, like I do. Like, if my mate wants a specific card, I'll decrease the value just because of their mate rate, just because of them and their mate rate. Unless I really need money, then I don't really give a crap, or just trade it to them. But the point is, the point I'm trying to make is, trading is at a point where it's all about the money. It's not about friendship. It's not about just having a little talk with someone. It's more about trying to find the most value you actually can from the person who doesn't know what they're doing. And that's why when you see these kids, well, these children, I should say, kid is a baby goat. When you see these children who are trading and getting ripped off, it's like, and I'm not saying I haven't done it before. I have. I feel bad about it. I'm not gonna lie. I made it up to the child in the end. Gave him more stuff. And when you get to when these little children are getting ripped off, you're like, they're just not gonna want to play anymore. Like, you're ruining the next generation. The next generation of players who are coming into the game, going to be supplying the game with money to continue the game on. And without these new players, the game would not exist as well. So as you're doing it to these new incoming players, as you're ripping them off, you're steadily pushing them away from the game, which is something I think is just awful. And as I said, I know I've done it before. I'm not happy about it. But once you get to that point, you're at a point where you're basically just not trading anymore. You're just trying to make profit. And that's what I'm really trying to stay. Oh god, my flirt is going everywhere. But the point I want to make, trading is going to a point where it's money. I know I've said this like 3 times, but that is where it's honestly going. What I want trading to be is what I've been stating. I want it to be a friendly interaction. I want to just have a discussion with you. Maybe we can talk a bit more. Maybe trade again in the future. Get to know each other. Maybe test with each other later on. That's what I want. That's what I feel like trading is meant to be. But when you see these people who are trying to make extra money or rip children off, and then all of this happens, you're like, oh, why do I even bother anymore? I might as well leave if all this scum is going to be in the game. And that's what's going to happen to the next generation as well if this carries on. And I feel like the game needs to go back to a point where you could be like, oh, I want to trade for this card and you want to trade for that card. Sure, trade. If you lost a pound or two, you shouldn't really care. Like, that's what I don't like about this. That's what I don't like about people who do this. I want to be in a point where the game is fair, the game is nice, and people aren't trying to rip each other off. That's what I want to see from this game. That's where I want to be in this game. But where it is now, Yu-Gi-Oh has turned into a point where trading, it's more money-based. Like, sure, if you want to buy this card off me, I'm not going to have a problem with that. I would prefer to look through your binder first, see if you've got anything I would like, though. Because if you've got anything I would like, you can save a bit of money. I can get something I want. Why not? I'm not always trying to sell. Honestly, guys, like, where I come from is, well, not where I come from, where I'm coming from is, if you've got a binder, if you only have cash, fair enough, but if you've got a binder, let me look at your binder. Just let me look at your binder. I don't really need your money. I'll look at your binder. If you've got something I want, I'll say, oh, I want this, you want to trade? And if you want to trade, sure, we can trade. If you don't, say no. You have perfect right to say no to the trade. You don't have to trade if you don't want to. That's something basic. But yeah, guys, tell me what you feel. Tell me what your feel in this opinion is. Do you think, are you one of those guys who just tries to get the extra pound? Are you one of those guys who, well, I know you're not going to actually tell me, who rips off the little children? Or are you one of those guys who just wants to have social interactions while looking through someone's binder, having a little chat, talking with each other, all of that good stuff? Because that's what I like to be in the game. That's where I like to do. That's what I like to do. I like to be in a place where I can just talk with you, have a little discussion, and maybe get a decent trade in the end, or a decent deal. Like a pound off, it's nothing. A pound. I'm not too miffed if I give a pound. If I'm giving you a £5 card for a £6 card for a £5 card. If I really want the card, it's fair enough. But guys, give me your opinion in the comment section below. Tell me if you think this is, if you think I'm right. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. Tell me if you think the game isn't going all the way to the money-based scheme. Tell me if you'd like to have a discussion with people while you trade, or look through their binders, or just try to get, or just want money. Just give me your opinions in the comment section below, guys. I always love to read them. I always love to get discussions with you guys. And yeah, guys, so that's the end of the video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Press the notification button to be notified of my future videos. And I will see you guys next time. Robert1, signing out. Thanks for watching, guys.